Stephen Curry, the greatest point guard of this era, NBA's most incredible baby-faced assassin, is also a man who changed the times. But before all this, he was thoroughly an underdog. He wasn't born with Shaquille O'Neal's divine strength, nor was he the chosen one like LeBron James, and he certainly didn't possess Michael Jordan's regal aura. All he had was a seemingly fragile physique and a harmless baby face. The whole world doubted him, saying Curry couldn't play in the NCAA. He should stay in the church choir. Curry couldn't adapt to the NBA. Curry was just a glass man. From a young age, Curry has been battling against the prejudices in people's minds. Before changing the era, his story is a classic tale of an underdog's growth. Hello, I'm Xiao Meng. Welcome to Basketball Figures. In the year leading up to the 2009 NBA Draft, Curry had just showcased to everyone in March Madness a unique style of play, leading his team to a legendary performance in NCAA history. And Curry's insane performance caught the attention of then Warriors head coach Don Nelson. This mad scientist, considered the forefather of the small ball era, personally created the We Believe Warriors and the miracle of the 8th seed. He was fascinated by Curry's shooting, ball handling, and passing from the start. Nelson firmly believed Curry would perfectly fit his basketball philosophy. So when Curry fell to the 7th pick, the Warriors, holding the 7th pick, did not hesitate to choose this baby-faced boy, once looked down upon by everyone. At that time, Nelson probably didn't realize this decision would completely evolve his run-and-gun system, and even start a new era. Years later, Nelson still marvels at picking Curry with the 7th pick, a chance that was probably 1 in a million, because in his view, no one could compare to Curry at that time. Thus, with Nelson and the management's expectations, Curry officially joined Golden State. But at that time, Warriors then star guard Monta Ellis seemed not very welcoming of this newcomer. Ellis. Who was he? Kobe is first, I'm second. LeBron is third. Whatever Wade can do, I can do. These words came from him. Sounds arrogant. But at his peak, he indeed could be compared to Kobe and Wade in terms of offense. He had publicly stated before the draft he hoped the Warriors wouldn't use their first-round pick to select another guard, and told reporters, "With me and Curry together, we're doomed to lose. Our opponents are those who bump into you and then pat your butt as they walk away. This is basketball. This is a serious matter. We're here to compete." Without playing a single game, Curry was already doubted by the team's leader. One can imagine Curry's situation, but he didn't let things develop between them. Curry chose to ease their relationship. Before the new season started, on Monta Ellis's birthday, Curry took the initiative to lead with his duck voice to sing a birthday blessing song for this big brother. At this time, Curry already knew the importance of team atmosphere. He was willing to accommodate and sacrifice, to make concessions for his teammates and the team. From now to the future, Curry has always been like this. But Curry, who has experienced doubt since childhood, knows only by showing real strength can he earn respect. Soon, Curry made his NBA debut, facing the Houston Rockets at home. Before the game, the youthful-faced Curry was interviewed in the locker room. He said, "I want to be a consistent all-star and win some championships. To be the guy who always does the right thing, never gives up every night, and gives it his all on the court." Thank you for your question. After the interview, Curry officially set off. It was from this statement that Curry's legendary career officially began. On the opening play, Curry immediately took the initiative with a beautiful assist. Then, the Rockets used multiple screens to bring forward tough guy Ariza in front of Curry, trying to physically overpower this slender young man. But to everyone's surprise, Curry directly stole the ball from Ariza's hands. This play seemed to tell the opponents and the entire league, "I may be thin, but don't underestimate my confrontation and defense." Then Curry stole the ball again, and during the fast break, successfully assisted Monta Ellis, along with his own incredible ball handling skills, insanely accurate shooting, and mature, calm playing style. Every minute Curry was on the court seemed to tell people the Warriors management made the right choice. In the end, Curry finished the game with 14 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 steals on 7 out of 12 shooting. Not perfect, but dazzling enough. Although in the following month, Curry fell into a slump, averaging only 9.8 points throughout November. It was just like when Curry first entered the NCAA. He just needed some time to adjust, and he would find himself again. Because this feeling of a comeback, he was all too familiar with. Starting from January 2010, Curry became increasingly adapted to Nelson's run-and-gun tactics. By February, he became the focus of the entire NBA. On February 10th, Curry, in a game against the Clippers, scored a luxurious triple-double with 36 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists, becoming the first rookie in nearly 20 years to achieve a 30-plus triple-double. Afterward, from the end of February to the end of March, Curry scored 30-plus 10 4 times, seemingly reenacting the legendary performance of March Madness. On April 8th, Curry scored 27 points, 14 assists, 8 rebounds, and 7 steals, almost a quadruple-double, also achieving Coach Nelson's 1,333rd victory, reaching the pinnacle of history. Throughout his rookie season, Curry averaged 17.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists, shooting 43.7% from three, making 166 three-pointers. And this data made all rookies of the same year unable to catch up. At this time, many fans began to discuss Curry would replace Monta Ellis as the team's face. Although Curry lost the Rookie of the Year battle to Tyreke Evans, who averaged 20+5+5, his performance had far exceeded the management's expectations. They were determined to invest in this seemingly fragile young man. But just as the Warriors and Curry were full of hope for the future, bad news came. On December 10, 2010, Curry severely sprained his ankle in a game against the Spurs, without any contact, missing 6 consecutive games. This was the first time people realized Curry's ankle problem might be serious. Before this, Curry had already experienced 2 ankle sprains in the 11-12 shortened season. Again against the Spurs, Curry sprained his ankle again, missing 8 games. More and more people began to notice his ankle, and some started to doubt him. But this was far from over. Afterward, Curry returned, sprained again, returned, sprained again, and then was out for the season. In the words of Warriors general manager Bob Myers, his injury was crazy. Before this, I had never seen anyone like Curry. Curry himself was also in a daze. He didn't know why God made him go through all this. It was also during these 2 years that the backcourt duo of Curry and Monta Ellis gradually exposed their most fatal flaw. The two of them were arguably the league's most potent backcourt duo. No team's guards wanted to face them, but their phenomenon of being easily penetrated on the defensive end became the biggest headache for the new Warriors owner Lacob. They were destined to be split up, and at that time, the management's attitude was very firm. If there was a suitable player, both Curry and Ellis could be traded. On March 14, 2012, the Warriors pulled the trigger on a trade. Before the trade was finalized, the Warriors were actually prepared to trade Curry, but the Bucks, citing injury concerns, weren't interested in him, and ultimately demanded Ellis. The experiment with the backcourt duo officially failed. It's unknown how the Bucks feel when they recall this decision. During this period, 2 things were particularly comforting for them. 1. Signing Jerry West as a team consultant and executive director. Jerry West, the NBA's logo man, an unparalleled dynasty creator. The Lakers Showtime dynasty and the OK dynasty were all his work. 2. In the 2011 draft, selecting Klay Thompson with the 11th pick. He is the son of former NBA number 1 pick Michael Thompson, possessing immense scoring potential. In the future, he would become one of the most explosive scorers in NBA history, saving the Warriors from peril countless times as the Buddha. At this time, the Warriors owner could never have imagined that one day he would publicly kneel before this young man. This was just 2 days after Curry was out for the season. He felt sad about Monta Ellis being traded, because, through cooperation with Monta over the years, he learned how to get along with difficult players. But now, the most important thing was to consider his ankle. Afterward, Curry went to Los Angeles, where he was treated by renowned surgeon Richard Ferkel. The details of this surgery were unheard of. The doctor told Curry about all possible scenarios, including replacing tendons from a deceased person. Curry's agent stated, no athlete had ever undergone such surgery. It could change his career. Fortunately, Curry's tendon had no structural damage and didn't need reconstruction. The surgery went very smoothly, and the recovery time was reduced from the expected at least 6 months to 3 to 4 months. The injury made Curry realize the body is the foundation for competing in the NBA. During Curry's recovery, the Warriors made several big moves. Jerry West, in the 2012 draft, selected North Carolina's Harrison Barnes, Easley, and the temperamental Draymond Green. These three rookies all vowed to make a name for themselves with the Golden State Warriors, and just 3 years later, they would shock the world. Afterward, the management signed Curry to a 4-year, $44 million contract extension. This contract became one of the most cost-effective signings in NBA history. It was also because of this contract that the Warriors were able to build a historically great super team in the future. In the 12-13 season, when Curry returned from injury, this Warriors team was completely different. Firstly, the coaching staff. Defensive-minded Mark Jackson, replacing Don Nelson, made the Warriors no longer as weak as before. The transformed defense became the Warriors' booster. Barnes and others were also very good. No one could treat this Warriors team as an easy target anymore. Most importantly, Curry, after overcoming his injury troubles, was getting better and better. On February 28, 2013, Curry led the team to challenge the Knicks away. Madison Square Garden is known as the sacred land of basketball, and Curry had just been reborn. The Golden State Warriors had also transformed. They were too eager to prove themselves. So, in New York's Madison Square Garden, Curry delivered what was then the peak performance of his personal career. He scored 54 points on 18 out of 28 shooting, hitting 11 three-pointers at nearly an 85% success rate, just one shy of the league record at the time. Curry became famous in one battle. In the playoffs, Curry scored 44 points against the Spurs in Game 1, with the two teams battling through 2 overtimes before a winner was determined. After the game, Popovich bluntly said, "He reminds me of Jordan." In the next season, Curry directly entered the All-Star starting lineup, and in the first round of the playoffs, battled the Lob City Los Angeles Clippers to the 7th game. The rivalry between Curry and Paul, representatives of the point guard position of the era, thus began. In the eyes of the outside world, the Warriors' progress over these 2 years was already significant. From a bottom feeder team, they transformed into a mid to upper tier team in the league. Just give them a few more years, and this team would definitely achieve great things. But just 3 days after being eliminated in the first round, the Warriors officially announced the firing of head coach Mark Jackson. In 2010, when the Warriors owner just bought the team, he made a 5-year promise. He told the fans, "Within 5 years, we will definitely make the Warriors champions." Now only 1 year was left, and the management couldn't wait any longer. Just like that, Steve Kerr took this opportunity to officially join Golden State. During the interview, he completely won over the Warriors management with his strong professional ability and the grand blueprint he outlined. The first thing Kerr did was to visit the players and have face-to-face conversations with them. He soothes Thompson. Don't be bothered by the rumors of trading with Kevin Love. Encourages Barnes, and communicates with Iguodala, who just switched sides. About the issue of sacrificing the starting lineup, he determines the direction of Green doing the dirty and tiring work in the team. Even personally flew from the United States to Australia to meet with Bogut. Kerr, through these details, quickly established trust with the team members. These details, like the embellishments of success, shine dazzlingly on the path to creating a legend in the future. And the most important thing is, Kerr completely liberated Curry. He designed all kinds of off-ball tactics for the team and Curry, letting Curry's unparalleled offensive talent be displayed more vividly. And Kerr told Curry, "Don't be limited by previous basketball styles. You are the most special. If it feels right, just shoot. To put it plainly, shoot the damn ball." Kerr thus opened Pandora's box. The Warriors were on their way to glory, establishing an incredibly powerful Golden State dynasty. But the entire league was about to be unlucky. In the 2014-15 season, from the preseason, Curry and the Warriors began to shock the world. Facing Kobe's defense, Curry effortlessly hit an unreasonable three-pointer. Kobe, with a smile, patted Curry on the back. That moment seemed like a great legacy being passed on. Then, Curry, with his lightning-fast release, mesmerizing ball-handling rhythm, tireless flamboyant movement, exquisitely delicate touch, a penchant for dunking whenever possible, and his unprecedented three-point ability, instilled fear throughout the league. Curry and the entire Warriors team continuously overturned people's perceptions. They could play fluid, wind-like run-and-gun basketball, while also deploying lightning-fast, precise rotational defense. They became the first team in NBA history to rank first in both offense and defense. In March 2015, in a game against the Clippers, Curry's crossover that dropped Chris Paul became an iconic moment. That move seemed to announce the league's top point guard position was about to change hands. Throughout the season, the Warriors achieved a record of 67 wins and 15 losses, topping the league. And Curry naturally outshone stars like Harden to be named the regular season MVP, the first for the Warriors since Wilt Chamberlain. In the playoffs, amidst the Western Conference powerhouses, Curry and the Warriors lost only 3 games to easily advance to the finals. There, waiting for him was the NBA's chosen son, a mountain he had to climb to become a legend: LeBron James. In fact, before the season started, Curry had tried to recruit James, but was rejected. At that time, James could not have imagined that this slender young man could meet him on the highest stage, and what he would have thought even less was that Curry would become his biggest opponent on the road to the championship. In the 2015 finals, when a skinny kid with no finals experience met a battle-hardened legendary superstar, there was no doubt, in the eyes of the world, the former seemed like he was there just to be a stepping stone for the legend. Charles Barkley even bluntly stated, "A jump shooting team will never win a championship." Curry and his Warriors were doubted once again, but this feeling, Curry was all too familiar with. After the finals began, although the Warriors won the first game, Irving's injury exit and Love's season-ending injury still made people reluctant to believe in him. In the second game, James' 39 points and Dellavedova's death grip on Curry caused the Warriors to lose their home court advantage, plunging Curry back into the whirlpool of public opinion. The league's MVP couldn't beat a backup point guard. In Game 3, James was godlike, scoring 40 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists, helping the Cavaliers win another game. After 3 games, the Warriors were down 1-2, and the doubts before the series seemed to be becoming a reality step by step. If they lost another game, Curry and the Warriors would be in dire straits, and all the efforts and honors of the season would be worth nothing. It was at this time Steve Kerr made an incredible decision to start Iguodala. You have to know, on the other side was LeBron James, with historic breakthrough ability. Without a tall interior presence, James' scoring inside was like taking candy from a baby. But everyone underestimated the Warriors' small ball lineup. They used speed, physical advantages, and dazzling pass and cut tactics to constantly attack the opponent's defense. Iguodala's full-court defense on James was immediately effective. More importantly, after the trials of the previous games, Curry finally adapted to the intensity of the finals. In Game 4, Curry and Iguodala each scored 22 points, and the Warriors defeated the Cavaliers. The pivotal game, the once-feared cube-faced killer, finally returned. Curry's 7 out of 13 three-pointers completely killed the Cavaliers' hope of winning. Eventually, he scored 37 points to take the pivotal game, although James still stood tall with 40 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. The Cavaliers' momentum was gone. The Warriors finally took the 6th game in one fell swoop, winning the match with a score of 4-2, lifting the championship trophy for the first time in 40 years. Throughout the series, Curry averaged 26 plus 5 plus 6, the undisputed star of the team. But at the subsequent Finals MVP ceremony, one of the NBA's eternal mysteries occurred. Iguodala was considered to have effectively limited James, and was the key to turning the tide of the battle. So he was elected the Finals MVP. Out of 11 votes, Iguodala received 7 votes, James 4 votes, and Curry didn't get a single vote. It was truly baffling. But Curry himself was very magnanimous. Iguodala was key to our victory. He deserves this award. Who cares about that? I will continue to play seriously as before. It was because of Curry's humble and generous attitude that the overall team atmosphere of the Warriors was shaped, and the glory of the Warriors dynasty was achieved. Last year's first-round exit, the Warriors, who had been a bottom-feeder team for nearly 10 years, finally stood at the top of the world. Owner Lacob fulfilled the promise he made 5 years ago. Rookie coach Kerr proved himself. Veteran Iguodala realized his self-worth. Thompson, Green, and other newcomers began to explode. More importantly, that slender young man once again proved everyone wrong. Prejudice in people's hearts is a mountain. The madness of the NCAA couldn't block the doubts of the outside world. They thought the intensity of the NBA would surely make him lose his accuracy. Just joining the team, he was ostracized by the star player. The recurring ankle injuries earned him the nickname of a glass man. But Curry never cared, because he deeply knew only he could write his own story. Life is an endless struggle against various difficulties, a battle against overwhelming odds. In this struggle, Curry has always persisted,